I was big on Facebook before music.
Wait. So people just knew you?
Just posting, doing stuff, engagement.
Okay. You already knew about the engagements before.
Yeah.
Where did you guys shower? Because that's...
That's when I grew from being just a regular artist to a cultural ambassador.
Oh.
That's a career-defining moment for me.
Wow. Welcome to another episode of With Nyasha Michelle, and I am going to be taking you on a journey to Sierra Leone. Okay, well, not necessarily, but I do have a guest who is incredibly talented and hails from that beautiful country, and it's the one and only Drizilik. How are you?
I'm fine.
You're fine?
Yeah.
You said something to me before. I want you to say it.
I said, tell God thank you.
Tell God thank you.
Yeah. That's Creole. It means thank God.
Thank God.
Thank God, yeah.
Is that something that you say to people like every time you...
Yeah, it's just a modest way to return a greeting. Like if someone asks you, how is everything? How are you doing? You're like, thank God. Tell God thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Is that a you thing or is that a Sierra Leonean thing?
It's a Sierra Leonean thing. It's a Freetown thing. That I know.
Freetown,
yeah.
Which is where you're from, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I want us to talk about that a little bit later. But for now, I want to ask you something which is very important to me that I always like to ask because it allows me to know a little bit more about you.
Okay.
So what is one defining moment that set you on the path that you're on today?
Okay. I don't remember the exact date.
Yeah.
Because I remember it was I was in school and we had just resumed. No, we were on holidays and my friend started recording and making music. I just wanted to try it. I did, and that's when I discovered that I should be a musician, and I never turned back ever since.
Do you know how old you were?
I think I was like 18 or 19, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so before that, did you think that music was your thing?
Nope. Never crossed my mind, not even for a second. I mean, we all grew up listening to music and loving music, that's it. I was around a group of boys. I grew up with boys, a group of boys my age.
Yeah.
And we would try everything, like bicycle, football, tennis, like everything.
Yeah.
And that holiday, we chose music, and I never turned back. Yeah.
Okay. Wait, so if you guys would try everything, and that holiday, it was the holiday for music, does this mean that every holiday, when it was the holiday to try out tennis, that's all you were doing that holiday? Checking it out, figuring out if you liked it, or how did it work?
No, not necessarily. Like, it would just happen. Like, we play tennis today, tomorrow we'll play football.
Yeah.
The other day we play something else or PlayStation. We're also big on FIFA, We just did everything that came to the table basically. But that particular year we discovered our talent in music. And it was like 10 of us just trying to be rap stars.
Yeah.
And that's when it stuck. That's when it hits me that maybe this is what I want to become.
Okay. And that's what you're doing now.
Yeah.
Out of the 10 of you, who is still a musician?
I mean, if you still make music, technically you're a musician. But I'm the only professional musician amongst all my friends.
Wow.
All of us, yeah.
That's wild.
I'm the only one still doing this for like a living.
So it really stuck with you. And what is the reason that music? Yes, you liked it. Yes, you were like, okay, cool. This is what I love to do. But why did you stick to it? Why do you think you're still doing music now? And not just you're doing it, but you're doing it professionally.
At every point, how should I say this? My purpose for doing music has changed over time.
Okay.
My reason for continuing or keeping keep pushing basically has changed over time. At first it was just for fun.
Mm.
And then it got to a point where my parents were like, if this is what you're going to do, you need to be serious about it.
Okay.
And then it got to a point where I wanted to stand out.
Mm.
So at every point in my career, I just like find another reason and just move on because
Yeah.
of that reason and this and that. Nowadays, I just want to make a name, not just for myself, but for my people. Basically, a lot of kids look up to me, and I just want to not like be an inspiration to them in a way, but show them it's possible.
Yeah. And actually, that reminds me of the fact that I interviewed I don't know if you remember this because I told you about it. I interviewed this Sierra Leonean female rapper / musician. This was for something else. And then I said to her, who's your inspiration? Like, who's a musician that you really look up to? And then she was like, Drizilik. Do you remember me messaging you about that? And then I think you even said that she contacted you and she sent you the link.
That's Boy.
Yeah, that's it, Boy.
She came to London. She was at my show.
I didn't know.
Yeah, she did.
Yo, I must keep up with my connections. Yeah. I need to check up on her, see how she is.
Oh yeah.
But how does that make you feel? Because she's really been. She's hugely talented.
Yeah.
And she's a female. Not that you cannot be inspired by musicians of other sexes or anything like that. But what stuck to me is when I asked her that question, she didn't even like skip a beat. She was like, what he's achieved, that's something that I like really want to achieve. So how does it make you feel when young or just aspiring musicians from your country looking up to you? How does it make you feel?
It's fulfilling because, like I said before you even mentioned that, I feel like that's where I find purpose nowadays. Showing them it's possible because, I mean, if you grew up in Africa or you've been to Africa or you know someone that lives there, it's not easy to make it out of that place.
Yeah.
Let's be very honest. And for my generation, it's even harder because our generation was the ones that started the internet age. You understand?
Yeah.
So music as it was when they were selling CDs and music as it is now when it's streaming, it's totally different. And it's been really hard for us to keep up as a people. So to see a young person as myself trying to break all these boundaries, I'm sure it's inspiring to them. So the fact that she gets it, that's it's fulfilling.
And for you, people like you, who others look up to and are like, I'm so inspired by this person. Y'all have got some interesting stories. So I want us to go back a little bit, of course, because you said that you're from Freetown, right? So let's talk about Freetown. Tell me about it. Tell me what it was like being born and raised there. And also, how has it impacted your sound and who you are?
Freetown, the impact is not only, it's deeper than just music. It's cultural. It's my entire culture. The Drizilik or me as Benjamin, purely, it's as a result of a lot. Freetown is a melting pot.
It is.
So I don't know if it's because we're a port city, we have a huge harbor. So a lot of things come to Freetown. I feel like it's one of the easiest place to penetrate if you're a musician from outside.
Really?
Like we consume a lot of content from other places, even when the internet wasn't there. Ivorians, Congolese, like we listen to music, watch TV and all from different places, so it's a lot to carry.
Yeah.
But somehow that's what I was born in, and then family, school, it's just a lot, I was raised by my grandmom and my grandparents, and she raised my other cousins, so it was like 11 of us at the house at one point. It's a big house.
Wow.
And 3 of my cousins. I wasn't raised close to my biological brothers and sisters. So my cousins are my brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
And my aunts and uncles are my mom and dad.
Yeah.
So it's like that. It's like family friendship. The family next to your house is almost like they're raising you also, like their parents and all. So it's not a big city. Freetown is not a big city. Everybody is related to someone. Like it's just one small pot where everybody is interrelated. We all go to the same school. Not many schools around. So much history.
Yeah.
You wouldn't believe like certain things I learned about Freetown. Like when I tell people outside and like when I go on tour, when I go outside of Sierra Leone, they don't believe me. Like the first university in West Africa was in
That's
Freetown.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah. My colleagues told me that.
Exactly. So there's so much rich culture, rich history, but the people are just chilled. Like it's nothing.
Yeah.
You know?
Even like when you came in here, I'm just like, okay, he's just so chilled. You just seem so calm. Is that because of what you just said in terms of like that's you guys' nature, but or is that more of who you are as a person?
Yeah, Sierra Leoneans are just chill. I'll be very honest.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean we don't do much or we don't like. Yeah, we just chill. But I'm an extremely chill person. I can be at least. Well, sometimes I can be really chilled, you know. And then sometimes when I need to ginger and step up and do something. But yeah, most of the time I'm just like this. I just want to relax and enjoy and.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what you get. That's the privilege you have when you're a person from somewhere where there's water. Like me,
Exactly.
we're inland people, Zimbabweans.
That's
We're chilled though. We're still chilled though. Sometimes we can be a bit crazy, but we're still chilled. So what is the most ginger thing that you've ever done that you're just like, okay, well, that was a little bit out of character, but that was good to get out of that, the box. Yeah.
So there's something in Freetown that is like, it's like carnival. So masquerade, artifacts, they parade with different masquerades, basically. It's called lantern.
Yeah.
And they'll build a lantern inspired by a certain building or a certain character or something like that. And then we'll just go round and round and around the city. So I used to do that a lot with my friends where we would it's like carnival. It's basically like carnival, but it's not people dressed in costumes. It's more like you build a mini, like a statue or mini something or something, like a human-sized something or downsized something, and then people just parade. It's like a competition, and then they go from the center of the city onto the national stadium, and then they just do this round and round and round, and people dance around it.
Oh,
so like that used to be like the most. We always look forward to it. It's like the most outgoing thing we did as kids, and I think it stopped like 4 or 5 years ago.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah, doing it in doing a similar thing in London whenever I come for like Notting Hill Carnival and all, is still the most outgoing thing for me. Like being shirtless behind. Like 5 or 6.
All the girls.
All the girls, basically. I didn't want to say it like that, but yeah.
It's okay.
Like being shirtless amongst other people, like just spray painting around the place. Yeah, that's extra. Yeah.
It seems like it's an extra, but it's a good extra for you. Because there's lots of people who come in, they love carnival.
Yeah.
But
yeah, our own back home was called Lantern. Oh. And then there's Paddle. It's like parade. I love parades, and they're just they bring out some other side of me. Yeah.
Okay.
Dancing in the streets, drinking alcohol, and all that stuff.
And enjoying, but also you don't just do things to do with like creative part things actually, because one of the last times I saw you in person, we were talking about this really interesting trip that you made with your people there. Tell everybody about what that was, because I thought that was really cool and very interesting.
So we drove 9,000 kilometers from Hungary to Sierra Leone.
Yeah.
But we participated in the Budapest rally. It was 3 of us. Actually, I should have said that because that was actually the most what?
Yeah, listen.
Yeah.
From Hungary to Sierra Leone.
Yeah.
How many days did it take?
Like 2 weeks.
I could not believe that you did that.
I was out of Sierra Leone for like 3 weeks because I flew. The other 2 guys have American passports, so they didn't have to do anything about visas. But I started my journey like 3 or 4 days before them.
Yo.
So I went to I drove from Sierra Leone to Guinea, went and got my visas for Morocco, and then I just took a flight from Guinea to France, took the train from France to Belgium, linked up with the crew, bought the car, and then we'd go from Belgium through Germany and Austria to Hungary. And then from Hungary, we just drove all the way down Italy, France, and all like Slovenia. It was like, we ended up going to like 15 or 14 countries, crossed the Gibraltar Straits to Morocco.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we spent like 4 days in Morocco through the desert and just going all the way down Mauritania and all that. It was so crazy. When we got to Mauritania, I mean, shout out to the Mauritanians. You know, they have these crazy old Benz 190. Some of them don't even have seats inside. They don't even have headlights or anything. Bro, you're driving in the desert, right? Because I hear there are lots of human trafficking and kidnapping going on in that side. I mean, I don't want to dive into that, but when we were driving through Mauritania, it was so scary because of what we heard.
Yeah.
And we couldn't stop. And then they told us we had to like stop in it's like an open field, a camp.
Yeah.
Because we have our camp beds and everything, like all our equipment. And
all on top of the car.
All on top of the car. Yeah. And inside, some of them in the back of the car. So we had to go in, find our way into the camp. And the camp was like, it's like 5 or 6 miles from the main road.
Wow.
And it's not
That's
like a
drive.
paved road or anything.
Oh, yeah.
We have to like find our way in. And then we slept at the camp, one eye open. We were just there like, you know what? We're not even going to fix the bed or the net or anything. We just stay in the car. So just in case anything goes on.
Just be ready. You're ready to literally just jump in and go.
Yeah, it was such an exciting thing. And the road we used, it's the you know where the tectonic, is that what it's called? Plate broke.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the edge of Africa. Like if you look at them on the map.
The way it broke off.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We went to that part and, you know, saw a lot of things. A shipwreck, when the dunes got stuck in there for like an hour or two. Rode dirt bikes and all. That was fun. That was actually the most fun I've had outside of Sierra Leone. And it lasted so long. You know, most times you're having fun and it's 2-3 hours. But that was like 3 weeks of fun.
3 weeks. That's amazing. Where did you guys shower? Because that's...
So, yeah. So it's like every day we do like 300 kilometers or 400 kilometers, right?
That's a lot.
If it's a motel or guest house or anywhere we just go and shower, basically. Sometimes the hotels are good, sometimes they're not.
Yeah.
When we were in Europe, it was cool. Like we stopped in Barcelona, went to some nice hotels. But then once we started going like Morocco and all, some of the sites, it's not like they're not good, but they're actually camping sites. So you have to like find a way to shower.
Yeah.
Just find a way, basically. When we had wipes and all, we were well equipped. So sometimes we just didn't even bother to shower. We just used the wipes and then
that's it. You're like, okay, I'm clean for the day. We'll figure out tomorrow when it comes.
But yeah, it was all for a good cause. So we did it to raise awareness for autism. And this we did it as part of an activity for Puzzle Pieces. That's the organization that's organized and funded it. So yeah, we just wanted to do something for them. You know, there's a community in Sierra Leone that's so dedicated to taking care of kids with autism and all that. So, you know, they're trying to raise funds. And I was like, yeah, let's do that. If we're going to do that on the side and have fun, why not? Yeah. And those two guys are like my elder brothers. They're like my friends, but they're like my elder brothers, you know. And yeah, it was so much fun. And when we got back to Sierra Leone, they had this finish line.
Oh.
It was so great. Like we parade the whole city and everybody. I didn't know how big it was because, you know, I'm on my phone like an hour and then you lose
network. Yeah.
And then we're just in the car, you know. But when we went to Sierra Leone, man, from the border, everybody was like, yeah, it's them, da 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 da.
Aww.
And then it was like it's like 200 cars. Yeah. It was like 300 of us on the rally, 200 cars.
Yeah, because that's one thing we need to make clear to people is the fact that it wasn't just you guys' car.
Oh, no.
You were
It
like
was
with the whole...
the whole convoy, yeah.
Yeah.
But
with the whole convoy.
it's like 3 or 4 different categories. Some of them were racing. Ours was not that
You were like,
serious.
oh, listen.
No, we
We're
were
gonna
just
come, yeah, but don't expect us to be.
No. We were just trying to finish. They were trying to be first.
Yeah.
Like, there's a racing category, a 4x4, and it's just different categories. We were just cruising, having a good time, making sure we pass on the message. Because everywhere we stop, we record a message, put on social media, raise, just tell people about how they can
Why
support.
was that important for you to do? Because your friend, your older, that you consider to be your older brother, he's got a child who's got autism.
Yeah.
As an African, particularly, why was it important for you to go behind a cause like that and to support?
First of all, in Africa, there isn't much resources to take care of people with special needs, period.
Mm-hmm.
And autism is, part of that. It's just lending of your voice and a helping hand where it's really needed.
Yeah.
Because we grew up with a lot of people who needed help like that, but they're either shunned or neglected, even sometimes even by their own parents. So it's that's how I actually got to learn about autism also.
Really?
Because I didn't really know for sure like what's this, what's that, and how to properly look after people like that. But then when I got connected to that friend of mine, and I realized his son was autistic and all, that's how I learned about how to take care of people like that and how to be mindful when you're around them and how to look after them basically. So being part of that basically felt it was necessary for me because I've always wanted to lend a helping hand to my community. And another thing, it was just a good thing to do because I know God gave me this career and so much influence for me to use it in a positive way.
Yeah.
And I've always been looking for ways to, contribute. Most times people think it's about giving money, you give money. But I give money to a lot of people and it doesn't impact them positively. Let me just put it like that. So being there for those kids and, having their message out there. I performed also for 1 or 2 of their events that same year. It was a good thing. That's one of the most important things I've done for my soul. Period.
I love that. I love that. I mean, you spoke about the fact that, you did the Lantern Festival and all that stuff. This is good, but it's a good thing that I remembered that because I do remember it really stuck out to me.
We'll be right back.
All right, I just have to interrupt the podcast for this exciting opportunity: home ownership. If you're dreaming of owning a modern, secure home in Zimbabwe, listen up. This is for you. Velda Estates is making that dream into a reality with Spitzkop Gardens, a brand new gated community to the west of Harare. They've got stands available right now, and the best part, you get to build your home from a selection of sleek, modern designs. So whether you're planning your first home or looking for a smart investment, this is the place to be. So don't wait. These stands won't last forever. Hit up Velda Estates on Facebook, Instagram, their website, or you can even call them. All the details are on the screen. So get started on building the future you deserve. Now back to the show.
Now, back to the show.
Drizilik is an artist, by the sounds of what you're just telling me, who, yes, you love your music, but you also want to give back and address some of those things that are probably not addressed as much or shunned within the African community, which I think is really inspiring. Because especially with me being a journalist, like with the stories that I like to cover, I remember when I was growing up, there were certain people that really, your family, your parents, whatever, would take you away. No, don't go near that person, because firstly they're like, oh, they're mad, they're possessed, they're whatever, or even they've got HIV. But you realize that there's certain ways that we look at things as Africans that actually ostracize people rather than help them. And sometimes it's like lack of knowledge, ignorance, and all of that stuff. But Anyways, we won't go into that conversation. What I want to reel back to is, of course, your name.
Yeah.
Drizilik. Where did that come from?
So it doesn't hide, but yeah, I'll say it. I'm a big fan of. I am still a big fan of Drake. But when I was coming up, my friends used to call me Driz.
Oh.
And that was around the time I registered. I created my first Facebook account.
Mm-hmm.
My middle name is Menelik.
Okay.
Yeah. So I just did that merge. And it just got popular. I was big on Facebook before music.
Mm-hmm.
Around the community. So
Wait. So people just knew you just for the sake of it? You were just popular?
I was just posting, doing stuff, engagement.
Okay. You already knew about the engagements before.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was a big social media person. Like I had accounts on High Five, Bebo, Facebook.
Wow, you were there.
Yeah. So I was really doing connecting and all that. Yeah, I was doing all that.
So
Drizilik is Driz and Menelik.
Okay.
Merged, yeah.
So I do have to ask.
Mm-hmm.
Who has won? Drake or Kendrick?
Kendrick won the war, definitely. The battle.
Yeah.
Definitely, yeah.
How does that make you feel as a I mean, you said you were a fan of Drake and everything.
I'm also a fan of Kendrick.
Okay.
I'm also a fan of Kendrick, but 20v1, I don't know. That's not the kind of hip hop battles we're used to. So a lot of things has changed and it's just what it is. But yeah, Kendrick is a phenomenal rapper. I think he is the best rapper we have.
Wow.
And it's not even just now. It's not because of the beef.
It's been.
So
yeah.
But yeah, there's so much that's happened to unpack, and it's more than just music.
Yeah.
By now we should all know that. So yeah, man. I mean, shout outs to Kendrick. I hated the fact that they made his Super Bowl performance partly about Drake.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm not the producer. I'm sure they have a reason for that.
Wait, hold on. I do get you.
Yeah.
But then it's not about they who made it like that. I mean, he fully tapped into it. Do you know how many people were dissecting it, especially with the A and all of that stuff? Don't you think he tapped into it anyways?
That's something Kendrick Lamar fans are good for. They can dissect anything. He would say, tick, 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 tick. They say, ha, see that tick? It's this, that, and that. They'll find a story for it. I understand how people try to interpret art sometimes. And as someone that makes music and art, sometimes my fans tell me what they think my words mean, and I'm like, that's what it means. I was just saying that. You understand? But art is open to interpretation, so that's fine. But I'm just saying, when you look at it for entertainment, if you just want entertainment, clearly some part of it was motivated by the beef. And I'm like, if I'm Kendrick Lamar, the number one hip hop artist in the world, the number one lyricist in the world, I wouldn't make my Super Bowl performance, my first solo Super Bowl performance, about another artist that I've already defeated.
I got to know you from when you released your album, Shukly.
Yeah, 2018. Oh, really?
That was 2018. Wow.
Wait. Oh, yeah. Actually, yeah, because I came to England the first time in 2019, and that was a year after the album. So yeah,
man.
That was like 3 or 4 months, because I released my first album in 2018 December, and I came to England 2019 August.
That's mad, because we did a audio interview about it. That's when we first spoke, and then I think when you came, I remember that's when I then first met you. Yeah. So yeah, memories.
I know.
How was it making that album, Shukly, and how much did it change your life and even just the way people looked at you as an artist?
I feel like that's when I grew from being just a regular artist to a cultural ambassador.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's a career defining moment for
me.
Even some of the records that I've made now, even though they are bigger numbers wise, or that album has so much impact.
Yeah,
it's crazy. And when I named my second album Ashobi, like and tried to make like a sequel of the first album, yeah, it's just yeah. So simply put, it's a career defining moment. That was what defined my career. That's what gave my career meaning, basically. That's when I, became the man in Freetown.
What do you think about it? Okay, let's take away the music, because of course your music is great. But what was it about the album that made it so pivotal? Particularly with what you said about really it making you like a cultural icon, someone who they really saw as like, yo, this guy is embracing our culture.
Yeah.
He is pushing our culture forward, all of that stuff.
It's first of all, the title, the storytelling, the whole album, basically, the storytelling, that was when I decided to tell my story for real.
Okay.
About how we grew up and the things that are relevant to us. The cultural references, things I made references to.
Like what? Give us some ideas.
For example, the album is titled Shukly.
Yeah.
Shukly is a woven basket. It's a kind of an artifact. It's present in many households. You use it for different purposes. For me, the Shukly stood as a metaphor and still stands as a metaphor for community. Mm-hmm. So just drawing that line with that object alone connected a lot of people. A lot of people were able to relate to the overall concept of the album because of the name, the choice of name, first of all. and then the songs, like how we set the track list, what the songs we're talking about. We have slaps on that album, like the title track Shukly. It's such a banger, but it's also saying something.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, lots of storytelling, relatability. That's one thing that really pushed it. That was when people decided, like my fans knew they could actually listen to my music and not just dance, And that's not why I made the album. I just wanted to make something fun, but deep down inside, it was it was a hit because of the relatability and the cultural references and how relevant it is to the culture and how much it tells our story.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm sure that there were times where you were performing or maybe just hearing people listening to your music and singing the words back. Not necessarily now because you've done more since then, but back then when you saw this album is doing well, it's doing big, and then you'd hear people singing your words back, like how your lyrics back. How did that make you feel?
It's a great feeling. That's like me giving energy and receiving energy back.
Yeah.
It further energizes me. Like it makes it possible for me to be able to give more and pour out more. It's what's so funny is when I released the album, the first concert that I made, the songs had not come out yet. Mm-hmm. But I performed the entire album.
Yeah.
And people were like singing it.
Wait,
so
what?
I would perform a song one time and then repeat. By the time I repeat the song, they knew, yeah.
Hardcore fans.
So, because I'm a rapper, rappers tend to like make things complex and, with all these metaphors and figures of speech and here and there, trying to make it complex. That was a very simple album.
Yeah.
People were able to sing along to it, but it still kept like the meaning, And that's what got it for me. So that, I was performing it at the first show and people were singing along to certain songs that they've only had like once.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's such a good feeling. And 5 years down the line now, when I perform like Shukly or Just In Case, every song on that album actually is a sing along.
Ah,
yeah,
I love that.
Every song, you like 10 songs, all of the songs sing along. If I perform it today in a Sierra Leonean crowd or anywhere in the US, whenever I go to whenever I perform it in the US or in London, people sing along to each and every song.
I love it. Yeah. I guess that's like one of the formulas to making good music. Mm-hmm. Yes, something that of course resonates with people, but also in addition to resonating with people, something that they can also tap into and
Grasp,
sing, grasp. Okay.
I like to make music in such a way that my fans feel like, oh, I could have said that. Like
Okay.
that's how I like to do it nowadays. Like, I don't want to be all rapidy rap, lyrical, spiritual, miracle in the swimming pool and all that stuff. I like to say stuff and have people think, why didn't I think of that? Like, I could have said that, It's not complex, and instantly you catch and can understand. That's how I like to make music. Simple.
And what are the 5 years down the line? Because you've just mentioned this, like, in 5 years down the line, Shukly still has that effect.
Yes.
But 5 years down the line, you've done more music.
Yeah.
What's one other song? I know we've just been talking about an album, but what's one other song that's had like this wild, amazing, really fulfilling effect for you?
Ashobi.
Yeah.
Featuring Idris Elba. It has such impact because, like I said, that was the lead single of my second album.
Yeah.
I think there's a thing whenever I name the lead single after the album, like the title track.
Yeah.
They always, turn out to be something that sticks. And having Idris Elba on that song also just took it from here to everywhere. And I was able to use that for very important things. So one thing is, people often miss, because of similarities and all, people often miss the language and say, maybe, like, if I speak Creole in a gathering where they don't know I'm from Sierra Leone, people think it's pidgin. You understand?
Yeah, that's true.
So, I mean, having Idris Elba on a record and he's speaking Creole and all, basically confirms that, you see, this language, now that you're paying attention, this language is not pidgin, it's Creole.
It's different.
And when I say Ashobi, because it's also like a Yoruba word, it's, people are easy to miss and say, oh no, it's pidgin. They're speaking pidgin and this and that. And I get that a lot whenever me and my friends converse in public, and people just come up to us and ask if, like, we're from some parts of Nigeria and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I was able to use that song to show them the differences. Like, this is Creole, this is pidgin. Because sometimes people don't pay attention until there's someone relevant to them.
Oh yeah.
Or someone very popular that's doing something. So him being on that record, apart from just making great music, that was one thing that we were able to do. Because when we posted the video when we posted the video on YouTube, because it's a similar culture, Ashobi means uniform. When you wear the same print with family members and all.
Yeah.
And the video was like that, and they were like, nah, this is our culture. West Africans have like similar culture.
Yeah.
Same colonizers or similar. It's all just so similar, And people easily miss. And I kind of hate when they mistake Creole for pidgin or Sierra Leoneans for Nigerians and all.
Yeah.
And that was one way I was able to, like, say, yeah, this is it, this is that.
You're like, I am gonna take back our culture and our identity. And it's okay for you to have similarities, though.
Yeah,
isn't
it is. I
but
mean, like,
it doesn't mean like they have to denograte the other.
Exactly.
Like, it's ours only. Yeah.
Yeah, and sometimes they try to say Creole is from pidgin. No, it's not. They try to say Sierra Leone is like little Nigeria and stuff like that. No, it's not. Africa is not a country.
Yeah.
And that goes to say, like, we're diverse. Similar in a way, yes, but so diverse, So, I mean, my grandmom, the one that raised me, was born in Onitsha. She was born in Nigeria. So it's not like I have anything against or not.
I have a good memory. Because I was going to ask you this. Because I think I remember you telling me this, that your grandmother was either born in Nigeria or she was Nigerian.
Yeah, she was born in Nigeria.
Yeah.
Well, technically, if you were born there,
Yeah.
Her and her siblings, like 7 of them.
Yeah.
But they're all Sierra Leoneans.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Very similar. And we grew up around Nigerians, like next door, the welding shop that was next door to us, they were all Nigerians. So I was partly raised by that culture. Mixture of that. When I say family friends earlier, that's what I was talking about.
Okay.
Like, our family friends were Nigerians. And my grandmom used to go there a lot on holidays and all that. And even me now, I make music there a lot. I mean, I'm close with Mastercraft and many of all their producers. But our cultures are different. Similar but different. And that line has to be neatly drawn for everybody to not mistake identity. Yeah.
I love what you said, like, it has to be neatly drawn, nicely, please.
Yeah.
Okay? I just must have to make it clear that our cultures are, they're a bit different. Okay, well, I think that's beautiful anyways in terms of taking pride in your culture.
Yeah.
We all have, like you said, one Africa is not a country. It's not a monolith. And so, yeah, we all have our different cultures in each different country. But then, of course, we have a lot of similarities. Yeah. And just because one side wants to take ownership of this doesn't mean that the others, it's not rightfully theirs. Yeah. So that's very interesting. But I still have to ask you about the song. So you have a song with Idris Elba called Ashobi. How did that collaboration come about? And how did that change your life or your career after you guys released it?
So I had the record before meeting Idris. I was working on this album, this second album, Ashobi. And he came for holidays in December. I think it was December 2019. And then as he left, that was when COVID hit. So he had met my manager and all, because we have a production company. And whenever it comes to Sierra Leone, he does a lot of filming and all stuff like that. So we were hired to do that work for him. And then an idea came up to do what's this called? Like a series on an infographic series on corona sensitization. And they hired us to do it. So I casted in one of the episodes. And it was like, they showed it to him and it was like, who is this? And then my manager was like, he's an artist. You should listen to him. Yeah. And then they played my music for him. And we started chatting. Ashobi is the first song I sent to him. I was so intentional. I was like, okay, now that we have this opportunity,
go straight to it. Go straight to the best, no matter what.
So I was like, if this is the only song that we're going to do, it needs to be this song. Because he also wants to project the culture. He wants people to know that he's Sierra Leonean, and he wants to know what being a Sierra Leonean is about. Yeah. And I was like, we spoke about it. It's one of those songs where we had a conversation lengthily before ever recording anything. So he gets the goal. It wasn't no hidden agenda or anything like that. He knew. So we exchanged numbers, shared tracks here and there. Like by the time we released Ashobi, we had like 4 or 5 other songs already recorded. Yeah. Because I remember I was in London when I finally released Ashobi. Me and Idris started talking in 2020, and we released Ashobi in 2022. Wow! So before we even released it, I had come here like 2 times, and we link up. Whenever I come to London, we link up and make music. So when we finally dropped that, it was like, that was when, you have a song with Idris Elba. For some people, it's just having a song with Idris Elba. But for me, it was about being able to, collaborate with a legend, for lack of better words, like a legend. I don't even know how to describe it. And him basically allowing me to not say use him, but, bring him into my agenda, basically, and, help preach this and just show our culture, show off. And he came to Sierra Leone for the video we shot. It was so cool. He's so cool. Working with him, just, he's like if you're not confident enough, he's the elephant in the room. But he brings you down to himself. Like, be comfortable, work. I'm Idris Elba, yes, but I'm a musician. So he's able to come in the room and just be a musician. Yeah. And not Idris Elba,
I like that. The having humility is very important, especially for stars like him who have done so well. But speaking of music and lyrics, you just said elephant in the room. There's one of your songs. Don't you talk about being the elephant in the room, but I'm like the elephant in the room. Tell me about that song.
That's a Rari Life. I was featured on that one. It's a recent one.
Okay.
Shout out to PS Hit Squad. He's a London boy.
Yeah, I know. You can tell when he starts singing.
He featured me and Big Z. I like that verse. Can I spit that verse? Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Them born me in a free tongue. They was me in a bath pan. I've been still a creep with the rebel and the chapan. Rest in peace, me granny and me grandpa. Then raised me well. And stubborn life introduced me to Latran. Beats all they do for me. Back 'em up with back 'em. I jump from one stage to another like a Tarzan. I don't go from running around chasing empty promises. Now I walk around like a king, na me kaftan. Baby say me na disease. Take me to CDC. I take the beach to the beach, make it CDC. Not to say I know I open up. I know able to see the key. They mean think you able to pay the price, stay see the fee. Politician rapper tiptoeing around me name just for profit. Me not pay attention to false prophet. The side where I come out are the one that we're not even able to run for the life, say the one run for office. I'm speaking from the spirit. Yeah, this is spiritual. Supposed to be relaxing. The passion make them impossible. I'm not the elephant, but anytime I'm in the room, it gets uncomfortable. My ups need more characters to be an obstacle. That's the most recent. That's the most recent verse I wrote. So that, yeah.
Bruh, like firstly, how do you remember everything? Because you do so much music.
I remember all my songs. Well,
seriously,
most of them.
Wow. Yeah. No. Like you spit some bars in there, and that really stuck in my mind, in my brain. Like you speaking about your grandparents, you speaking about politicians, you speaking about the line about the elephant in the room. I like that. I like that.
I'm not the elephant, but anytime I'm in the room, it gets uncomfortable. I'm basically saying I don't need to be big or to make people.
Hey, who's that song talking to?
No, it's just influence. It's just rap, you know.
Yeah.
You know, rappers like to talk their thing.
Yeah. I mean, so you're a lyricist whose family wanted you to be an accountant.
Yeah, my aunt wanted me to be an accountant.
So then how did all of that work? Is that something that you wanted? How did she feel when you were like, yo? I mean, you said your parents were like, if this is what you want to do, go ahead and do that. But
at some point, but before that, it was a struggle.
Tell me how it was.
So at some point, my aunt moved out of the house. She got married and moved out of the house. But like, we're also connected. She would still check on and see what's Benjamin's doing and blah, 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 blah. But I was with my grandparents now. And you know how grandparents can be. I have my way around. I can find my way around them, you know, I used to bribe my grandmom with Maltina. that's how simple she was.
She'd be like, oh, my grandson. Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. For her, she just wanted to see a sign of me progressing.
Oh.
And I was able to show her that there's this music academy close to where we live. And a friend of mine introduced me to one of the directors, and they just they brought me on board. And, you know, they had a lot of respect for the academy because that's where the organist in church, you know, they're all connected to the academy and all that. So when I told my grandmom that I was part of the Balanta Academy of Music, she was like, okay, if you're going to drop out of school, at least you're in an academy of music and you'll at least become an organist or something, or choir master or something. They just wanted me to do something with my life. Yeah. So when I realized that, I was like, okay, you know what? I'll be serious about music and just, you know, not let them down. So, yeah, at some point, I told my aunt, my uncle, I connived with my uncle to tell my aunt that I don't want to go to school no more. I just want to take this final exam and just pursue my music. And they were like, yeah, if that's what you want to do, you can go ahead.
And you are here now.
Yeah.
But I can imagine that you've experienced some obstacles in this journey. Well, what are some of the obstacles you've experienced? How have you also overcome them?
It's just... It wasn't much of a struggle, I'll be very honest.
Yeah, you're lucky. You are blessed.
I'm a very resilient person.
Okay.
You know, I'll give myself that. I can stay focused on one thing for a long time and not, you know, flicker. So at every point in my life, I got help, the help I needed.
Wow.
From different sources, whether it's a friend of mine or my elder brother introducing me to this friend of mine who has a better recording studio than the one I have at the moment. So at every point of my career, you know, until it got to like the point where it was like industry stuff, which I wasn't so involved in. Because shout outs to my team, we were so self-sufficient that we didn't need anybody in the industry. So, you know, allegations of us being proud or stuck up to ourselves and all. We went through that, but it got to a point where people people just realize like, yeah, they have their own thing going. They clearly want to do their stuff their own way. So they just allowed us to do, and this is the result. So it wasn't much of a struggle. I'll be very honest. Like at every point we made calculated guesses and it worked. Thank God.
Okay, so let me unpack that a little bit. Your manager have you had the same manager throughout? Or the team that you're talking about, is it the same team you have now?
The same people but more.
Okay.
So I started with just two guys, right? Ibrahim and Sule. They are two brothers. They went to school with my elder brother.
Okay.
So my elder brother introduced me to them and said, like, look, this friend of mine, they make music. You should link up with them. You see what you can do.
Okay.
And then they were managing me. And then when I got to a certain point,
they're like,
we partnered and I was like, yeah, we need more people.
Yeah.
And then we connected to this other guy, Benedict. He has like this big company. So he sold some shares to us. And we just like formed something.
Yeah.
And that's how my team became bigger. And about 3 years ago, we hired a publicist who, her name is Vicky. Shout out to Vicky. She has her own company. She's like one of the most prominent Sierra Leonean women. And, she just added to that, gave us like proper PR and all, just fixed things up for us properly. And then last year, I started working with Paradigm Global. They're based in the UK. Charlton and Dominic. So he has a production house. He has a record label. He has a management company. So now it's Paradigm Global, Eminence Africa, Shukly Inc. Like it's like 3 or 4 different entities coming together. And I have my band, Freetown on Court. I have my DJ Rampage. So as I go, I accumulate. I'm not the type that like to, okay, I'm done with this person. I always find a way to maintain my team because it's not just about what they do for me. It's also about what we can share. Yeah. And most times it's more than just one thing. Yeah. It's not just, most of the people around me aren't just there for what they do for me. It's about things we together do for other people. It's always bigger than just you give me or I give to you or give and take. It's more like how we can impact this, how we can build a community, how we can together put things together for other people. So because it's always bigger, it's hard for me to just get rid of people. And it's not like I want to. I mean, sometimes I do, but, I've been with the same team since 2011. My DJ, my band, I met the band in 2011. I met my DJ in 2011. And my first managers was in like 2009 and 10. And we're all still together. So.
Yeah. And at the time of recording, it's 2025.
2025, yeah.
Wow. You can give some people some tips on how to maintain relationships, like professional relationships as well, because like sometimes that's not very easy. Like, how do you maintain that?
For me, I don't know, to be honest. Sometimes I just recognize what other people want from me. And, it's like I said earlier, it's more than just what I want. Sometimes other people want certain things and you just give them the freedom to be able to use you to do their own stuff. Like when I go on tour, I go with my band. But if we're in, let's say for example, if we're in Maryland or something and Rampage wants to go for a gig somewhere, that's not my show. Yeah. I accompany him. Yeah. I'm there with him. I don't know how to DJ, but I'll stand there with him, act as if we're the ones putting the playlist together. I'm with him, you understand? So he can use my influence to further his work. And I do the same thing. So that give and take is always there. And like I say, we work for other people as well. So me and Rampage has written and, produced songs for other artists. We've been in the studio to write and work with other people. So like for me, it's about making sure it's bigger than just us. It's more. And that's interesting for some people. So that's how I've been able to maintain and also just be respectful to the people around you. Yeah. That's it. Yeah.
And something that really struck me was when you mentioned earlier about like your experience like within the music industry or how people have said, oh, maybe you guys might be like, I don't remember the word that you used exactly, but your experience within the music industry has been one of you got your team, you guys said, this is our goal, we're going to go and we're going to do that. And you didn't necessarily have to pair up with, like, ask for help in a way. So
outside, yeah.
okay, how would you have managed that? Because someone would turn around and say, well, in order for me to like even just start, I need somebody within the industry. And how was that received when you guys were just like, we know what we're doing and we just gonna keep doing it?
It was just a lot of us, and to be honest, that time, these are smart people. Honestly, I'll give that to them. I mean, so the first people that I collaborated with professionally, Ibrahim and Sule. Ibrahim is like a tech genius. Even today he's a software engineer, and he knows FL Studio and all these other studio programs. So, what we need to have the best recording that we can afford,
okay,
we were able to get it because he knows.
Yeah,
and we invested all our money into this.
Yeah.
So there was one time when Ebola came to Sierra Leone. We won a contract for, that's what I was saying earlier, I've worked in a studio before with cameras. I know my way around these things a little bit. So we got a contract to produce home learning videos for an entire school, and it was a private school.
Yeah.
So they paid us really well, and we used that money to buy most of the equipment. Some of them we even have nowadays, and today. We still use some of those equipments today. So it's, yeah, we make money, we spend it, put it back in, and that's all. Most of the money I make goes back into the music.
Gotcha.
I'm still an independent artist.
Yeah, you are, isn't it?
And I've been ever since. I've never really signed like a record deal or anything like that.
Do you want to?
It's business. If it's right, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I've had so many other. I've had sponsors. I've had endorsements and all these things. I mean, most of these people don't want me to name them, but you know. I've had financial help from a lot of people. Let me not say I've never actually needed anybody outside, but it's always like our team together, independent from other music labels or music organizations and things like that. It's mostly us putting together, buying equipment, buying band equipment, paying for our flight tickets to this and that. Yeah, it's
wow.
Yeah, it's been that way for long.
Money.
Yeah, it's like, yeah. And it's about the people you surround yourself with. Like most of my guys aren't scared to pour their last money into what they do. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. But then with all of that, like with whenever you started music to where you are at now, you've done, I'm sure you're like really proud of some of the things that you've achieved. So what's one of your most proudest moments?
We'll be right back.
So, as someone with natural hair, I know all about the joys and sometimes the struggles of not only achieving but maintaining healthy hair. That's why I started using Bella Vista. These products have been so healthy and nourishing for my hair that I'm more confident wearing less wigs and more of my hair out and natural styles like these braids. Bella Vista isn't just another beauty brand. It's a movement, honey. Their all-natural products are designed to tackle hair loss, alopecia, and dryness whilst keeping your hair thriving. I've got 4 of their products right here, and trust me, they deliver. Plus, they don't just do products for hair, also for your skin. But let's talk firstly about this extreme hair growth. It will have you saying goodbye to balding, graying, and dandruff. This powerhouse nourishes from root to tip. And I live by Jamaican castor oil all day, every day. It's great for thickening your hair and strengthening those roots. But also, you know me, honey. I'm all about luxury. This Caviar Luxury Hair Growth and Shampoo will also nourish your scalp, leave your hair moisturized, and best of all, strengthen your hair. If you're ready for real results, check out Bella Vista today because good hair days should be every day. Now, let's get back to the show.
Now, back to the show.
So, what's one of your most proudest moments?
Moments. I've had a few.
Okay.
I mean, I remember particularly when I was nominated for MTV Base Viewer's Choice. I was happy because that was the first time. Actually, every time I do something for the first time as a Sierra Leonean or be the first Sierra Leonean to do something, I feel a certain way about it, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
Because our country doesn't get that much exposure.
Yeah.
And like I said, I find purpose in exposing our culture. So whenever I have the opportunity to, like in 2022, we came and headlined, we performed at London Fashion Week. That was the first time a Sierra Leonean is headlining or performing at fashion. Like, I enjoyed doing that. Got invited to the BBC, the BBC when we went there.
Yeah.
I was like the first of my generation.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that. That was a milestone for me. Did the BET Cypher. I loved doing that.
Oh, that's dope. Yeah.
Things like that. Every time I get the chance to represent, because on a stage like that, it's more than just me. It's you can't take away the fact that it's the first time a Sierra Leonean is doing that. So whenever I get the chance to do something like that, I feel proud. And there are some personal things I've achieved also where, like if I like me being able to take care of my parents, my mom. I mean, I've lost my dad, but my aunts, my cousins, and all stuff like that. Even if it's little, just me being able to do that, it's something I'm really proud of. Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. And what's next for Drizilik then?
I'll have to wait and see.
Okay. All right. So we've got to keep them waiting a little bit.
Yeah.
That's cool. All right. Within the podcast, we have something that we call Pass the Mic.
Okay.
Yeah? Each guest leaves a question for the next guest.
Wow.
Yeah? So we're going to start the process like this. I'm going to ask you the question that was left by the previous guest. And that was Sebastian Summerfield, who is a former footballer and entrepreneur from Zimbabwe. And
I haven't even met him. He gets to ask me a question.
He gets to ask you-
Congratulations, Sebastian.
Well, let's see if you like his question. Okay, so your Pass the Mic question from Sebastian Summerfield is, what do you think our purpose on earth is?
To replenish, multiply.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay, to replenish and multiply. Nice and simple. I like that.
How was...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to add to it, you can, but I think that's
no.
cool.
I'll just leave it like that. I'll just leave it like that.
Nice and simple, guys. Don't complicate it.
No.
Replenish and multiply. I love that. Now you get to leave a question for the next guest.
Yeah. It's not even a surprise. I'll make this about Sierra Leone. What's the first thing that comes to your mind when you hear the name Sierra Leone?
Oh.
Yeah.
I love that. I cannot wait to test the knowledge of the next guest. Because if it's someone who doesn't know a lot, their heart's going to be like... And even me, if you ask me, I'll be like, not that there's nothing. Because I think I'm a little... I know lots. But
you know a lot more than many people.
Yeah, being a journalist, and then also like I focus on Africa a lot, and I have quite a number of friends from Sierra Leone, so I think I cannot be in that category. But okay, cool. This is my segment called Trending, and I want to ask you the first question about hip hop beef. So what's your opinion about it? Do you think that it's needed, or it's now just about hype and entertainment?
I think it's part of the sport. Like it's just I think it's I don't know if it's needed, if need is the word, but it's part of rap culture. It's like table tennis, you battle it out, and at the end of the day, you have a winner, or sometimes you don't. But and I think it pushes the culture forward. It's something that is part of hip hop, and it's just there. I don't think it's just hype.
Yeah. Okay, so it has, because actually, when I think about it, there was a lot of like even rap battles, rap ciphers, rap beef, like back in the day. Anyway, so I do get
it. It makes the genre interesting.
Yeah.
And it's our culture.
If you had to have a hip hop beef with someone, who would it be?
Me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an interesting thing. I mean, I've thrown a lot of shots around here and there, but
Is it?
honestly, yeah, I have. I
Okay.
have. But I'm really not the type of rapper who goes around thinking of how to end someone else's career. No, I don't. I'm the soft type, honestly. And I've been in beef before,
Okay.
but yeah, not my thing, honestly. It's just not how I'll choose to spend my time. I'm also the kind of person that plans my releases. I can't be there waiting for someone to drop so I can drop. I'm sorry, no.
Okay.
Too much.
So you're gonna just stay away from the beef.
Yeah.
All right, cool. We'll have some vegan meal instead.
But I'll send the shots. You can call it sneak dissing or not, but I'll say what I want to say and just move on. That's it.
Okay.
For me, it's about what I want to say. I don't want to hear you back.
I wish we had time. Okay, just tell me just one person that you've sent a shot to.
Yeah, there was one guy. I mean, people know. I don't want to name names.
Okay.
But there's this old, much more. I wouldn't say much more established because I mean I've done my thing now. But like an OG basically, and he was going on ranting about my name. You know, they would ask him questions about me on interviews, and he would say not so pleasant stuff. And you know, there's some tapes leaked of him, you know, talking crap about me, and I had to say something back. I'll fight back. I will fight back.
Yeah.
You know. So yeah,
Okay.
I said a few things here and there.
All right. Okay.
Just nothing big. Just me saying nice stuff. Yeah. Talk your shit.
All right, then. You spoke earlier about the fact that social media was already your thing. Like, people knew you. Even before, you know, like it was big, or even before, like your music was like really big. So do you think social media is a blessing or a curse?
Blessing. Big blessing.
Yeah.
That's what saved me from gatekeepers.
Oh.
That's how I was able to distribute my music without having to go through anybody. You know, I would make sure I get added to like 50 WhatsApp groups and just premiere my music on WhatsApp. Boom. Yeah. Social media, blessing, big blessing.
Yeah. Do people still go around in Sierra Leone with the CDs though?
Yes, they do that.
Okay, cool. Do people do that with your CDs?
No. I don't allow. I mean, they can bootleg and just go and sell, but I don't sell CDs, no.
Yeah.
For me, it's important I show people the way forward, not back. Yeah. I know it's a thing nowadays to sell CDs for, you know, the nostalgia and, you know, just some people keep it a souvenir. But for us, you know, I just feel like it's more important to show people the way forward. And yeah, that's it.
Gotcha. All right. Now, Mr. In the Public Eye, how do you handle being in the public eye?
I just be myself. You know, sometimes it's hard to, because I'm a shy person. I'm very shy when I'm outside.
What?
Yes, I am.
Really?
You know, like I'm like an extrovert who doesn't want to be approached every time. Like I want to be outside but not seen.
Yeah.
I like to see outside.
Yeah.
But not interact all the time.
With people. Yeah.
Yeah, because sometimes you just don't want to talk. Sometimes you're just shy. You know, like you see a nice girl and you're like, yeah, she's walking up to you. What? What now? You know, so yeah, I'm a very, very shy person. So when, you know, sometimes it's too much. You know, the fans, they act out of character sometimes. Nothing bad, nothing crazy, but you know, yeah. So yeah, I stay in my lane. Stay in my corner. I do stuff. I interact a lot. I go to the beach. I go to the club. I go to the club almost every 2-3 weeks.
Do people recognize you a lot?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They do. They know me.
Hey, you've never been jumped on by a girl?
I have.
You have. And how
Several
have
times.
you dealt with that when that's happened?
Nothing much to do. Just
Don't drop her.
Yeah. I think I might have dropped someone before, you know.
Yo.
Yeah, I might have. But no, I don't know how to react in situations like that. I'll be very honest. And if people knew how it felt, how how I feel whenever stuff like that happens, they wouldn't approach me in that manner.
Oh,
I just don't know what to do. Like, if someone is screaming your name or someone is crying because they met you for the first time, what do you do? Smile, laugh, not laugh. Not, like, what do you do? You know, it's awkward for me.
it comes with the territory.
It does.
Yeah.
I can never get used to it. I'm sorry.
I think it kind of keeps you people humble. I think that in a way, like, you know, I don't know if that makes sense. And I'm not saying you're not humble, but I just think like it keeps you more human, because I think sometimes people look at stars as like, you guys can handle absolutely anything. That's why people would approach you like that. Like, oh, what do you mean you don't feel comfortable? What do you mean I can't just take an unwarranted selfie, even though you don't want me to take a selfie with you? Do you know what I mean? Like, that's why I've seen like certain artists speak up about it, or sometimes they just, you know, in their little hat and they're just like, I just want to get out because actually I'm not comfortable. But people from the other side just look at y'all and be like, you know what, no matter what type of day you're having, you're gonna have to be comfortable with the situation.
Yeah, they treat you like a statue.
Oh,
Like, hug you from behind. Nah,
Really?
don't do that to me in public. It's uncomfortable. And girls do that all the time. Oh, he's my crush, he's my this, he's my that. And no, I'm not your crush. Please don't.
Leave me alone. Personal space.
Not really like personal space. Like, be responsible. Don't hold me like this when we are taking photos. Just stand next to me, you know. Don't worry. They wouldn't say it's Photoshop. No, all jokes aside, it's just uncomfortable sometimes. And sometimes you just want to be outside and not be in anybody's photo.
Yeah.
And not have anybody in your space, and it's hard.
Okay.
Yeah.
I understand. And my very last question. West African music, do you think it's more united or divided?
United.
Okay. Yeah, tell me about that. Like, what... Yeah, just tell me about that.
I mean, it's more united. First of all, Afrobeats is West African sound.
Mm-hmm.
Period. And now you have Afro piano. Western Africa, Southern African sound.
Yeah.
Afrobeats is also a mixture of dancehall, reggaeton, and all that. You know, so it's not only just African sound, it's black music coming together. And now we're having these intercontinental collaborations with American artists, Nigerian artists, Sierra Leonean artists, and, you know, Ghanaian artists collaborating with American artists and all that. It's just, I think it's becoming a thing, like one, rather than just back then when you used to have Congolese music. I mean, the diversity is still there.
Yeah.
But with a genre like Afrobeat, it has made it easy for Africans to identify to one sound. I don't know if it's a good thing, because then now when it's time to give credit, or when it's time to how should I say? When it's time to let's just say that when it's time to give credit, it's hard to put in categories. Mm-hmm. You know, I feel like one African music category is not enough for African music, like what the Grammys does. I mean, shout out to them. They are trying their best, but, you know, saying you give one award for 52 countries, I don't know if it's enough. Maybe we need to make our own Grammys or something.
I think we do.
Because we have enough music for that. I mean, the kind of amapiano music that comes from like Southern African countries is totally different from what's in Afrobeats or in Western Africa and other places in Africa. And, you know, Northern Africa have their own music, their own separate thing.
Sound,
you know?
yeah.
So, yeah. Well, I'm happy for Afrobeats because at least we have something we share. And that togetherness is more important than any other thing, any other award. So
I love that. The togetherness is more important than any other award.
Yeah.
And on that note, Drizilik, that is the end of our chat. So thank you so much for talking to me and joining me on the podcast. Have you had a good time?
Yeah, I've had a good time.
Okay. Okay, good. I didn't pay him to say that, people. All right. Before you go, though, for those who might not know where to find you, please just tell them your handles and where they can find you.
It's DRIZILIK on all platforms. The easiest way is to Google me. I also have a website, drizilik.com, drizilik.com. All information.
Amazing.
Yeah.
There you go, people. Thank you so much for joining me, and
Thanks.
we'll see you next time.
Yes.